guys, welcome to Ramen Reviews. Today's episode is Obi Wan Episode 2. So they released 2 episodes right off the bat, which is great. So we get to delve into the world of Obi Wan. So now that we're off Tatooine and we're actually into this new dark, gloomy world, it's a very good, well, it's a great contrast to what we were sort of presented with in Episode 1. So we know that Leia has been taken into this gritty, dark underworld, and the Inquisitors sort of rule by whatever means necessary. So they can do what they want, and then this is kind of an outlaw town. So there's things going on everywhere, and for some reason, just to move the plot along, a little kid just pops out of nowhere and says, "I can take you to a Jedi," and ironically, he's talking to a Jedi. So we're presented to old mate looking like he's doing his Force tricks, but we sort of learn that he's a con artist, but who's a con artist who has kind of a soft spot or a heart of gold, which seems kind of familiar with our old bounty hunters, you know, like Han Solo, etc. They're a little bit rough around the edge and they really like credits and need to make a living, but you know, they want to help people in the end. So we sort of see that story progression, a little bit of character development for him, which I don't think he's going to be a reoccurring character, but it was nice to see the old bounty hunters with a kind heart. So when he's actually caught out, and obviously Obi-Wan wants to find Leia, I like to see the assertiveness of Obi-Wan, so I'm ready to see him actually engage in some combat, which hasn't happened yet, even in this episode. So the whole dynamic is the Inquisitors having their infighting and trying to outsmart Obi-Wan. Like, we learn that the third sister is actually deemed to be not as well accepted into the Inquisitors group, where she's a bit of an outcast, but she has really strong Force abilities. And there's this really weird scene where she's running on the rooftops, obviously like Obi-Wan and Leia after he's escaped them, which is the whole build up for Obi-Wan to actually rescue Leia was probably drawn out to more than it needs to. Like, you saw him sneak into the base and get out, well, sort of held up by the group that couldn't outrun the small girl. So he's in there and he does his little smoke bomb and off he goes. But there's always a hallway scene where, at the moment, hallway fight scenes seem to be the genre for any action. I don't know if it's like the tight camera angles, at least they're not doing silhouettes, but obviously he's showing he's got some moves still with some hand-to-hand combat. Like, I'm not sure if Jedis do train in hand-to-hand rather than just the lightsaber, but then they're off on the big run. And they're on top of the building. She's doing flips, she's pushing things with her Force powers, and then they do this point of view shot where she's jumped from one ledge straight to the pipe, and it's gone to first person. Like, that is the weirdest transition scene that it's just not needed for that transition. Like, there's no point in any of the Star Wars films that they've ever gone first person, which I know they've been doing it in Halo, and it's really off-putting, and it sort of takes you out of the action. And seeing her do flips like that, they showed the actual same flip about 2 to 3 times, which they pretty much could have just got her to appear in the alley, which would have been way more mysterious and cool, rather than see her do her flips on top of the balcony with the random point of view shot. But whatever, she's sort of holding her own. She's a strong female villain, which we're going to see that's going to play out, where Obi-Wan and her are going to finally have their showdown. And she reveals to Obi-Wan that Vader is obviously still alive, and we see obviously Obi-Wan's reaction to learning that Vader is actually alive, and that's where it cuts into the end of the episode. So the episode was nice, moving for the progression of the story. There is only going to be 6 episodes, so I think the pace is going to pick up a lot quicker, where they're trying to fill that gap between episode 3 and A New Hope. And I can't wait to see where they go with it. I'm not sure 6 episodes is probably enough to delve into all of the aspects that Obi-Wan was doing during that time, but I guess we'll see. So yeah, let me know what you think below, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends.